Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this pep talk. My name is Gert-Jan Scheers, and I'll be your host for the next 45 minutes. Pep Talks aims to facilitate the exchange of knowledge between public employment systems or organizations around the world. And today we'll have a lot of people from Europe, so we'll hope that will be very good today. Before we begin to speak, and this pep talk starts, I have some technical questions for you, or information. This is a live interactive webinar, so you can send in your questions while we are talking, and if possible, we'll answer the questions right away. You can do that on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Type in your question, and we'll try to answer them as soon as possible. If you have any technical problems, please, on the top right-hand corner of your screen, there's help, and that will give you most of the answers to try to solve your technical problem, if you have any. Immediately after we have finished this pep talk, you can watch it again. Well, maybe not everybody wants to do that right away, but maybe you can share it with other people, or at a later date, look back and get some of the answers you want that maybe were too quickly given while you were watching this webinar. We'll have 2 questions for you, so be prepared for that, and we'll hope you get your answer quickly. Well, that's about the technical stuff. I want to welcome all the people watching us. There are people all the way from Iceland and Finland up down to Portugal and Greece, and everything in between almost. We have a lot of countries that are watching today. So, very welcome. And of course, I want to welcome our guest speaker, because today the topic is competence-based matching. And I want to thank Ria de Ketele for being with us today to tell us all about it. And I have Michel Peters as my co-host today to help me out with questions. Actually, Ria, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad I will introduce you some things about competence-based matching. What is the agenda of today? First of all, I will tell you about from selection to competence-based matching. Then I see van what it looks like in the systems of VDRB. Then we get an evaluation of VDRB and how we matches, how we do that, and how we competence-based matching, is it good or bad? And then I will share some experience with you. But first of all, from matching to competence-based matching. But what is matching? Matching is the match, finding the match between a job seeker and an employer. When a job seeker wants to get work, he goes to an employer and say, "Oh, I want work." He can search with a counselor at that matter, but also an employer gets CVs from job seekers. But why we matches? We match also, you can match with a matching system and use a matching system to make the match between the job seeker and the employer. Helps you better to go to the matching. What is the history of VDRB? How we have to come to competence-based matching at VDRB? It's a long history of matching. And what was first? First of all, we have selection. One of our counselors of VDRB is looking for a person, a baker, who has 3-year experience. He look it in our database and follow up some CVs of persons and get, okay, I will look at this CV or I will look at that CV. Then afterwards, we have a searching tool. And then we say, okay, employer, you can get some information and you can get some CVs out of our system. And also the job seekers say, okay, you can search for vacancies here on this screen. That was first. In 2004, our counselors say, okay, and our management say, okay, we will use a matching system. And we take the first steps to match. with our system. First, we did the automatic matching, then the counselors get the matching tool to experience, have the experience with it. In 2013, we use competence-based matching, and we have introduced that into our system. But today, we have not enough information today to say, okay, was the competence-based matching good or was it bad? But one of my temporary agencies, managers of a temporary agencies, has said to me, Ria, it's good competence-based matching, what you have done. I get less candidates, but I get better candidates from you. And that's one of the things we want, that we have to spend not much time with candidates. They are not fitting well in this vacancy part.
Could you elaborate on your decision to start matching at VDAB? Because you were at selection first, and now you decided to go to matching, and even further along the line, you went to competence-based matching. Yeah. What were your decision makings in moving from search to match?
We have looked at it with the counselors and also with some job seekers and employers. And some employers said, but from selection part, you say, okay, to a job seeker, search for a baker in Brussels. But my thing, I want that he knows that, and that. Why it's not making it to a match? What do you not do with that? No. I have also some things that you want, that the job seekers want to do.
Okay, and so the criteria from the other party were not considered.
Yeah,
that was the criticism.
That's the most important thing there.
Okay.
Okay. Why are we going from selection to matching, and what is selection now? Selection is what I said earlier. It's black or it's white. It's what the job seeker wants, and the job seeker wants, I want the vacancies of a baker in Brussels, and he gets all the vacancies of a baker in Brussels. Employer wants all the CVs that have 3-year experience for a truck driver, for example. But matching, this is different. Matching is between both parties. You are calculating both sides. And what are you doing? You take the demand and the offer from the employer, and you take the demand and the offer from the job seeker. I will give you an example. You know, job seekers want a job nearby his home. An employer wants that the people, they come to search for a job, that they know this competency, and this competency, and that they can start it to work in his organization, and that they have learned all the things. And that's one of the things about matching. It's both sides are calculated within the matching score, and that's very important that both sides are in the matching score.
Would you say you offer less or more results to your customers with matching?
When we have to go to matching, it's less of results. Selection is very big, and then you are going to search and to match, and then you are have less candidates on it.
But the results improve, I understand.
There is improve. You get better results on this part.
Well, it's time for you to take some action. As you see, there's now a poll, and we explained about the difference between selection and matching, and we're very curious to find out, are you already matching or are you still selecting? Please, click the right answer.
Okay. What are the matching criteria in VDAB in 2004 until 2012? My colleagues and I have looked about it, and we have said to our management, we have 3 most important things that are the criteria for the matching, and these are the most important. These are the job, the diploma, and the distance. Also, when you are searching for a truck driver, you have also the driver license needed, and also the languages is one of the things we have as a matching criteria. There are also other criteria in our system at VDIB, but they are less important than these 5.
So your matching is based on these 5?
Our matching was based on these 5 criteria.
Okay.
Yeah, and the 3 most important things. That's why we make the difference: the job, the distance, and the diploma. Okay. But it was not good enough. This system. It was. We are saying, oh, it's not good. That's not good. We are the job seeker wants not the good vacancies. He gets no vacancies from VDIB, and the employers say, okay, I get some job seekers, but not many. What's wrong with your system? That's one of the things we say, and we looked about, and we come to competence-based matching after it.
Okay. So you had less results with matching, and the criticism was that they were getting less results, and it was not fitting enough.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what made you decide to go to competence matching?
We have decided to do that because we are looking to the profile of some job seekers and also to the vacancies, and then we say why they don't match. Mm-hmm. Why they get no vacancy, why they get no results of job seekers. And that's why we're saying, okay, we have to do something else.
Okay.
Good, then in the meantime, you have cast your votes, and we have 28 people who answered. And of course, this is not a representative, but we have 54% of people who say, yes, we are already matching. And we have 46% of the people watching today who say, no, we're not matching, and probably you're still in selection. So that's the outcome.
It's very good.
Well, you're halfway there.
Yeah, halfway. It's good. Okay, overlap. I have said how we are going to match with competencies at VDIB. What are the things? One of the things is when you are looking from the job view, you see that there is not enough overlap between the vacancy and the CV of the job seeker. That's one of the things we are looking at. But when we are using competencies, there you see the overlap is much bigger than when you are going to look at the job. Because competence is a more important thing, and you can say about the task he will do at your organization. But you can see it also on another way, and I will show you a video of how we at VDIB matches with competences.
Meet John, a 47-year-old music teacher. We at VDAB met him the day he graduated. We manually mounted him into his first employment at Ringo's School of Music. Later, John was looking for a new job, and so he reached us again. Elise, our smart matching motor, automatically linked John's occupation, diploma, and active area with Paul's Music Academy. Now, John is on the lookout for another job once more. Unfortunately, no teaching jobs are available. So, we integrated activities and related competencies into the matching system. It swiftly unites competencies for John to encounter Katrine, a guitar store owner looking for a top-notch salesperson. Apparently, John tunes in with 80% of the necessary needs. Because Katrine filled in exactly what she's looking for, and John kept his VDAB file perfectly updated, our new system was able to find this match. Thanks to this, John's only a slight refresher course away from being Katrine's top-notch salesperson.
Okay, why we are going at VDIB to competence-based matching, and what is our competence-based standard at this moment. My colleagues they were going all over the world, and they are talking about competences, and they are looked about which organizations are working with competences and what is a good standard for VDIB to work with competences in our system. And our management has said, okay, here are the results, and they say, okay, we will use Rome 3 from Pôle emploi or PES of France. And we are saying, okay, in 2009, we are saying, okay, we get the data from Rome 3 into our system. And that's our competence system. We have translated Rome 3 into competent. And what is competent also, with our social partners of Belgium, we are looking at the Rome 3 standards and the translation, and we are saying, okay, that it's good for the Belgian labor market, of what it's not good. We are putting some things around it. And then we say, okay, competent is good. In 2011, we are saying to VDIB, you can go with it. And VDIB has said, okay, we will make an own database of the competent. Why we as VDIB doing that? Because Commate, our system, our database, we have to operationalization competent for using it in our vacancies and using it in our CVs. Commate is one of the things we made for the employer and the job seeker for operationalization. And what's it mean? I give an example. When you are searching for a truck driver in Rome 3, competent and commit, you search for a truck driver. But for operationalization, we have needed a truck driver who reads with a truck, with a small truck, with a truck who has gas in it, and so on. Dus we are saying, okay, we are operationalizing it for using it in our systems, for the vacancies and for the CVs. And then we can match with it. But also, our Department of Education are using competencies and competent, and using it for the education part. But we, as VDIB, we don't get at this time the data automatically. That's one of the things we are working with this agency to say, okay, can we get the data automatically from the education part?
You enriched your taxonomy for competence-based matching.
Yeah.
Were there also soft skills in there, or only the hard skills?
At this moment, we have only the hard skills, because also in Rome 3 and Competence, they have the hard skills in it. Last week and the week before, we are saying we are speaking with employers and job seekers and partners of VDIB, and they say, why don't use soft skills in your matching system? Yeah. And we are looking at now, and perhaps in the future we get also soft skills in our matching system, but at this moment not. Okay.
The enrichment that you made in your taxonomy, how long did it take you?
We have spent 1 year for building all of the things, the commit, to say, okay, in Elise, what we are going to do, how we do it in our vacancies, how we do it in our CVs, and how we do the matching. It is, we have taken 1 year to do it, and we have a good result on it for 1 year thing.
Yeah, it's pretty fast, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. What it looks like, how in our system we are using normally the competences and for the matching, what it's look like for the employer and who it's look like for the job seeker. For the employer part, he gets CVs. When he fill in his vacancy, he can match with it, and then he gets CVs. One of the things when you click on a CV, you get the CV. But why you get this CV at that moment? And that's why we make a matching report. On our matching tool, you can see why this CV is matched with this vacancy. And here you see a matching report from this CV. And on the top of your screen, you're seeing the competencies, and the job seekers say, okay, I'm good in it, I'm good in these competencies, but these competencies I don't know with. I don't know how to do that. And also, he's not enough experience for doing this work. But on the right side, you see the matching score, and there I see it's 90%. Thus, it's a good match for this job seeker here. Also, the job seeker gets from VDIB vacancies. And you see here 3 vacancies, and when you click on a vacancy, you can also get the matching report. And what is the matching report here? Here, the job seeker can see, okay, what are the good things I have and what are the bad things I have. And here you see that the region, it's too far away, this vacancy. I have to have a distance here. It's not good. But I have said in my file that I want to work there. Just that's why I get this vacancy. But also, these 2 things are also important. The employer wants these 2 things.
I have 2 questions from the audience.
Yeah.
Maybe we can ask them to you now. The first one is, what do you mean by soft skills?
Soft skills is I have to work in a team, for example. I am creative. That's are the things. That's our soft skills, we call it.
And then hard skills would be? And
hard skills, the task he have to do. And you have to type all day. That's a hard skill.
Okay. And another question we have from the audience is there a difference in using job-related competences and general competences at VDIB?
Yes and no. We are using the job-related competencies in our system. There are some generally also in the system of Geometry and Competent. They are there, but not so much as the job-related competencies. The most of the things are job-related competencies.
Okay.
How does your enrollment for these competences look like? So me as a job seeker, how many competences can I enter? Am I free to enter as many as I want?
Yeah, you have free to enter all of the things. You can say, okay, I'm a job seeker and I want that I fill in my competencies when I search for a job. But you have experience in your job, and you come to VDIB and you say, okay, I have worked there.
Yeah.
Then you can fill in the competencies that you learned at this organization. And you can ask the organization to fill in a document and say, okay, you can that, and that improve the organization for you. Another thing is when you have hobbies and you do something and you say, okay, this competencies I have know it very good, and then you can say, okay, I put it in my file. These are 3 or 4 different ways you can do to get some competencies in your file.
So there is no limit for me entering the amount of competencies?
No. No.
Is there a limit on the job site, so the employer?
The employer can search for, he gets, when he fill in his vacancy, and he is looking for a truck driver. For a truck driver, he gets the competencies for a truck driver. But in another part of the vacancy, you can add also competencies of another thing and saying, okay, he has to go to there or to there, and there is also some competencies to organize a party, for example.
Yes.
Then he can take it also and said, okay, organizing a party.
Okay.
This is the job seeker, the matching score we get here and the matching report. Most important thing for our unemployed people, they get automatically from VDRB a message in their mailbox. And what is it? When a vacancy is entered in our system at VDRB, directly we match with competencies, and we match with competencies, and we're saying, okay, this and this and this, it's good for this and this job seeker, and he gets directly this email. He can click on the vacancy and see how the vacancy looks like, and he can go to his file. He gets maximum 5 vacancies each day. And we send to 125 candidates this automatic matching. When a vacancy comes in, the first 125 persons get this vacancy. If the matching is correct, and you get 125 candidates, of course.
Why would you send it out to only 125 job seekers?
Because we have learned about it. At the beginning, we have 500 candidates. We sent this automatic matching, and everybody is going to the employer,
yeah.
and the employer says, "Oh, so much people, I don't want it." And then we have tried to set, and now it's a long time. We are setting 125 candidates for one job.
Yeah, so that's the best 125 matching job seekers.
That's the best 125 candidates gets unemployed people, eh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I have 2 more questions from the audience. The first one is, do you match on bakker or broodbakker? How specific is the job?
The job is, when we have said earlier, we get from Competence the data, and then we have operationalized it. You can say, okay, a broodbakker, a breadbakker, it's the thing. We have operationalization it, and it's smaller, and it's smaller ones. We have a breadbakker in it.
You will probably go to a higher hierarchy in order to get more matches.
Yeah.
So you can select the lower value, so broodbakker in this example, and then go higher up in the hierarchy to get different matches also.
Yeah. Well, I think in that respect, another question is also interesting. How does the matching system deal with a high amount of competences? Does it give less results?
We have, for the matching part, we took maximum criteria there. You get a much of pounds there, the maximum score of it, but not all the competencies are took in place, because when you have all of competencies and the other side has less competencies, because VDRB has chosen to say, okay, you don't have to fill in the competencies, but you want to fill in the competencies, and we stimulate you to have competencies. That's why we say, okay, we have a maximum score of it. And it's 5 competencies we take in account of it, and saying, okay, that's good enough for the matching. You can take all of your competencies, but the 5 most important things for that job will take in calculation.
Okay. I have another question with that I think it relates to that, is how much importance is given to competences respect to other stuff like education and preferred working location?
First of all, we have our competencies that are the most important thing. And then we have the diploma and the education, and then the distance. That's the 3 most important things, and the competences are giving the most weight score and the most weight. of it.
Then I think we have another question for the audience. You tell about, okay, it's good they can fill in a lot of competencies, and that makes match better, although you maybe cap it at 5. But do you get enough information? You know, what if people only give one thing? How do you, are all the people giving you enough quality of the profile so that you can match? And well, I think that can be a problem. Can be a problem. So a question for you, audience, is do you have that problem or don't you have that problem? How much could your quality of the data, of the profiles and the job descriptions, could that improve? Well, we have 0, 25%, 50%, 75%, or maybe 100%? Okay, this is time to make your choice, and then after a few slides, we will give you the answers.
Okay, evaluation. How good is competence-based matching? What have we learned as VDIB from competence-based matching? First of all, quality. When you put in a bad CV, or if you put in a bad vacancy, then you get bad results. And that's also when you take your matching system and say, and you tuned not good enough, you get also bad results. And that's one of the things VDIB said, and the press in the beginning saying, oh, this person search for a baker and he gets a vacancy of a butcher, how it can be, what it's in it, what it looks like. And that's one of the things we have decided to take some other things into consideration and saying, okay, what are we going to do on these 3 things? One thing, a bad CV. One thing, a bad vacancy. And one thing, the matching system itself, how we tuned it. And that's one of the questions we have from our evaluation at VDIB, and we have to do something about it.
If you say a bad CV or a bad vacancy, do you mean it's incomplete or is the data wrong?
It can be both. It can be that it's not incorrect. It is incorrect, and you have getting a baker, and you have get the diploma he wants, and he wants to be a baker. That's not good enough as a vacancy. You get that bad result, and you get this bad CVs on front of your screen. Okay. And you send it automatically to the 125 candidates, and that's not good. Yeah.
So you need rich profiles.
Yeah. The profiles has to be better and good for us.
And I have another question on that, I think. Can candidates just check off as many competences they want, or do they get penalized versus candidates that only check off their main competences?
That's a good question. We have doing both things, because in the beginning, in 2013, we have our matching system set, and there are no competencies in the vacancies and no competencies in our CVs. And then we have looked about it and say, okay, with a CV with competencies and a CV with not competencies, because it's not, you have to fill not in it, and the vacancy with competencies and a vacancy with not competencies, how does it match? And we have tried and look at it with counselors, with our job seekers, and with our employers, and we have come to a result. And we are matching with it, but also the CVs of the job seekers who have not filled in their competencies, they also get out of the matching when an employer searches for candidates. And around also, when you have a job seeker and he wants vacancies, and in these vacancies there are no competencies, they get the vacancies. On other criteria, we are looking for other criteria.
I do believe that the question was if a CV has only a few competences and a CV has many competences. Do you distinguish between the two?
No.
No?
There no.
Okay.
There no. Oh, okay.
Another question, how the best 5 competencies are picked up during matching? Is taxonomy used in this case?
That's about what is the demand of the employer. Has he filled in 5 of 10 of these competencies, and then we take this as a reference, and that's the thing. When the employer say, okay, these are the competencies he needed, then he look at the job seeker. Okay, which 5 competencies is it? That's why, and of course, the taxonomy is there matters, because when you fill in a vacancy, you get for a baker, you get the competencies of a baker, and they filled in. Yeah. When you have experience, we have took someone and say, okay, this and this competency is good.
Another question, do you use occupation, for example, baker or welder, as well as competences, or only competences in the matching?
No, both of them. We are. When you have a baker, and there are competences also for a baker. When you ask for 5 competences, they have a higher score on the job part than the baker himself, and then we took the competences. But when there are 2 competencies and the baker, you ask for a baker, then get the baker the job, for the job results. That's the thing we are using now. We are comparing these 2 things with each other.
Okay. One more question that is on the screen is, does the system work semantically or only keyword-based?
Keyword-based, We are using all of keywords. In it, you have to put in, when you want that in the matching you have a driver license, you have filled in your vacancy, you have needed a driver license. On the job seeker side also, when you have the driver license, you fill in your driver license, and then you get vacancies for a driver license. It's put in...
I think the semantics are in there when you use your taxonomy, because if you entered a competence or a job like baker, the taxonomy will also look for synonyms of baker and get you a result that also provides entries that are not exactly what you typed. So there is some kind of semantics within the taxonomy, but it's not, it's match. If you're searching, then it could be semantic, but it's not in this case.
Are you planning on using ESCO in the near future?
No, we are not going to use ESCO in the future. We are going to make a mapping table to say, okay, this is a vacancy, and we will send them to EURES, and they are using ESCO. We are going to take a mapping table between these 2.
Let's have a look at the poll, the answers of the people. I'm
interested.
8% of the people who say there's no possibility to improve our data. We have perfect data in our profiles. So that's wonderful to know. On the other hand, I think there is 48% and 32% on 50 and 75% of possibility to improve. So I think that does say that there's about 80% of the people who say we could improve it quite a bit. So that's the answer on that question.
Okay.
We have to do it also. And what we have done it on that question.
How do you go about improving your data?
What have we done? We have made an online assistant for that. It's helping you to fill in your vacancy correctly. And you get some answers. You get errors and warning on your screen when you are putting in a vacancy in our system at VDAB. And what is one of the errors? When you are searching for a truck driver and you don't fill in the driver license, you get an error on your screen, in yellow here. And when you're using discriminating words in your vacancy, then we are saying, oh, it's bad, it's very bad, you have to have a warning. And also the vacancy is not putting into our system and set it in on our website. We are saying, okay, it's not good, it's a warning. We are saying, okay, it's not going to our website, it's not going to our matching system. We are not doing anything with it. When a counselor see it, then we can say, okay, the counselor can choose and can say, okay, this and this is not good, and say, okay, I do it so and so and so, and then the vacancy is going to our systems. But in the first time, we are saying, no, it's not a good match on it.
Could you tell us if VDAB also gets vacancies in that are not typed in by the website?
Yes, 72% of our vacancies are coming in from HRXML. We called it automatically from other systems. JobAds, Stepstone, our temporary agencies, Convert, Randstad, and so on, are using also employers call out with a technical partner. They send our the vacancies. Okay. And it's at this time 72%. A year earlier, we have 65% of our vacancies.
Okay, so it's growing, yeah?
Yeah, it's growing. It's very growing at VDAB at the moment.
And how would your help assistant work in that case? Because you're getting an XML now and not a screen.
They get from VDAB and they have to put it in March 2017 in their system. They get the online assistant live.
Ah, okay.
We have APIs. We called it the open services. And one of our partners, Convert, is using it already on a test base. And the counselor of Convert fill in his vacancy, go first to VDAB and say, okay, what's it look like? They get the errors and the warning on their screen in the Convert part, and then they can put the vacancy better and send the vacancy to our system.
Okay, so you're also improving data for the feeds that you get, not only the online part.
And the test phase is after, and we are going with our partners in March 2017. They are going to use the online assistant.
Okay.
And you can use also the online assistant. First of all, here you have a screen. What is it, online assistant? I have made a paper on it. That's the first thing. But you can also say, okay, I be interested in the online assistant.
So this is your opportunity. There's a call out on the screen if everything goes right. And if you click on it, then we'll make sure that, we'll contact you about getting this online assistant. So this is your chance.
Okay, we have the online assistant, but we have done a lot more than that. What have we done? I will share some experience with you. I have doing some things that you can follow why we have done competence-based matching and so on. First of all, I launched today a website of competence-based matching. It's where I explain what is competence-based matching, what I said earlier. And I want that other organizations on the other passes are coming also on this website and saying, okay, we are doing that way, we are doing that way. Malta, for example, can also put in their thing on it, the other countries also. And that we make one website where there are a lot of information on it, on competence-based matching. Another thing, how do you go to competence-based matching? What are the little steps you have to take to go to competence-based matching? Here you see a diagram that we have made in a white paper. And we are saying there, okay, when you have a matching system, What have you do? What have you do? What want you to do? What are your next steps? When you have not a matching system, what are your steps that you can come to competence-based matching? And that's why we make this white paper for you.
Again, this is your moment to get that white paper. You see the call out. Just click on it and we'll make sure you get the white paper. Yep.
And then we know that competence-based matching is not to come to competence-based matching is to take little steps. And VDAB has 1 year. We have to go from matching to competence-based matching. You can take little steps, but how you can do that? And we will invite you to Brussels, to come to Brussels, and that we show you how we did it at VDAB. That we can work with you and saying, okay, you have to take that step and that step and that step to come to competence-based matching. Just join us in Brussels.
Yes, again, this is your moment. Click on it, come to Brussels. Of course, it's very interesting, much better than just the white paper. So come to Brussels, you get a great workshop, and well, on the side you may get some real good food because Brussels is a great place to come.
Could you already share some tips on competence-based matching? What have you learned mainly?
What have we learned? You can take 2 steps. One step is you can take the competences into your database, but backwards, or not on the screen, but in the backend.
Yeah.
And you can use there the competencies to search from it, to match with it, to learn from it. And the other thing is from selection to matching. It's another thing. And when you are going from selection to matching, it is very good that you inform your counselors. That's one of the things at VDAB we learned about, that our counselors saying, but you're using a matching system. I have no work. I have no work. No, you have work. We help you with this matching system. It's not that a counselor's
job gets replaced.
Is being replaced. That's one of the things we learned about.
Okay. And you also need to tune the system.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on how you tune your system?
Every Friday, counselors of VDAB all over Belgium is coming to VDAB, and there we are testing it. When a job seeker say, "Oh, I'm getting not the good vacancies," what in it's about it, then we are looking about it. When a partner say, "Oh, I'm getting too much candidates," what's wrong? It is the vacancy of what's it's wrong. It's a bad match. Then they look about it. And also we have every 3 months we are released to go into production, and they have taken steps to go to production with. We say, okay, the distance is not good. We look at it, and then we say every 3 months we going replace it, our system.
Okay.
Time is about up. We're 2 minutes late. I just get a message that there are a lot of other questions from our audience, but I don't think we'll have time to answer them all. I do promise you that all the answers will be given to you by mail. So that is what we can promise you. Furthermore, well, I hope you had a very interesting 45 minutes, that you learned a little bit about competence-based matching and how VDAB does that. But of course, there's much more to be told. So either come to Brussels or download the white paper. I want to thank Ria for giving a perfect presentation, telling us a lot about how you do it.
Definitely.
And
Thank you.
Michelle, thank you very much for being with us too.
Yeah, thank you.
We as WCC are very happy to facilitate this exchange of knowledge, and we'll hope we'll have another one soon. There's a little possibility to give us your thoughts about a next topic. So please look at the evaluation questions that we'll show you right now. Again, thank you for joining us, and well, have a great day.